Yes, sir.
Now look at us go.
Look at us.
Good, man.
Dude, my stomach's in knots. I don't want to talk about it.
No, why could that ever be?
Sunday's just staring me in the face, and I'm just, ugh.
This has the potential to be one of the best Super Bowls of all time.
It's not going to be, no matter what. Unless the 49ers are up by 100 in the first quarter, there's going to be nothing good about it.
You guys can't score 100 in the first quarter.
Exactly. So I'm not going to be okay.
Oh, I love it. That's going to be good. It's going to be good, though.
I think I've gone through every possible scenario for this game 100 times in my head, man. I'm a mess. Everybody keeps coming in this morning. They're like, they think something horrendous happened here.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? And then Dave's just like, it's just football. He's fine.
You should probably just take Monday off regardless, either way.
Oh, here's the thing. I already messed that up, man. We have new client pitches at 9 and 10:30 on Monday.
Oh my
that
God.
we scheduled like 2 weeks ago. And I've been trying to get these done for like a month. So I told them up front, I'm like, no matter what, Monday is not going to be a normal day.
No.
So yeah, first thing, it's going to be, I've accepted it. It's going to be horrendous, and that's just life.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm pulling for the Chiefs, but I think the Niners are gonna win. Is what I think's gonna happen.
Everybody keeps telling me that, and it doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah.
Well,
if Jimmy throws less than 20 times, you guys win. If he throws more than 20 times, you lose.
Well, here's my thing with that. People got to get off this train that Jimmy's not good and that Jimmy can't win games.
Right.
Because he threw 9 passes in the championship. He didn't throw 9 passes because he wasn't playing well. He threw 9 passes because we were averaging 12 yards a carry in the first 3 quarters.
Right.
It would be crazy to stop running it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you watch like the New Orleans game, he out Drew Brees
yep.
in his home stadium. Mm-hmm. Like, that dude can play. I don't care if he throws it 10 or 50 times.
Yep.
That dude can ball.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, official prediction, and then we got. I think you and I said we're going to keep this to 20 minutes. I think let's keep it tight if we can. What do you think?
Dude, I don't want to talk about predictions. I have numbers in my head, but I don't want to talk about it.
I'm going on the record. I'm going on record. 31-27 Niners.
I'll text you my prediction just because I don't want to do that to my team and I'm overly superstitious. But just for posterity, I will text you my prediction after.
All right, and I won't screenshot it, and I won't put it on Instagram until after the game.
Yes, you can screenshot away, but just keep it till roughly 11 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh, I will be texting you throughout, I'm sure. So
I won't be answering, so that's fine. My phone's going to be so far away from me. People don't understand. They think I'm joking, but sports team championship level, it's the worst version of me.
Yeah.
By far. Everything that's good about hanging out with me in normal life, flip that on its head. That's me during the game. Like, you don't want to be near me. You don't want to talk to me. Like, I'm the worst.
Are you like locked in at home by yourself, or like, what's the situation?
So usually I try to be, but one of my best friends since I was 8 years old is my partner in crime for all things 49ers. So I have to watch it with him. And then all of our friends are going to be there too. So no, there's going to be numerous Instagram stories and numerous Snapchats of me just being an awful human. And
oh my God, so funny.
It's fine. I've accepted.
There you go. Like I said, I'm pulling for, because my son's a big Patrick Mahomes fan. Now they have the same hair. They have the same hairdo. So
yeah, they're getting close, man.
So where do you want to start? Because we had this thing kind of outlined. We don't know how it's going to go, but I think just short and tight and just a couple of, strategy things, I think would be kind of fun. Just keep going with it.
Yeah, I say I'll follow your lead. I'm the Robin, you're Batman today, just because my mental state is not.
You're not
whatsoever.
No, that's good. I think so. The two things that I texted you that I wanted to kind of chat about, just very organically, is kind of what I'm doing with my own stuff, my own personal brand, with my own content creation, and how I'm kind of trying to hack the system and trying to get as much out there and be as efficient with it as possible. And then I think the natural progression for me is talking about Fuego footwear. I think it's fun. It's on brand with what he's trying to accomplish, and now we're starting to get some traction. So I think for me, kind of to start, I need to thank you for keeping me on with the Trello board. I don't know if you dial into that thing at all and look at it for the collab life board that I kind of keep myself accountable for. But that's been huge for me. And if I go back and look at my numbers, since I really, dove into it when we were working with the Infinite crew back late summer, it's really forced me, like you said, you see those incremental things that you start ticking off one by one by one. And it's cliche to say success begets success, but once you start seeing those things, it's huge. So for that, I appreciate that, giving me that tool. And what I'm trying to find is, me, I like to set my goals super high just because that's the kind of people we are. But at the same time, it forces you to kind of continue to try to scale the unscalable. So for me, it's trying to hack things like this, is taking this, what am I going to do with this video? Where am I going to chop it up? And where am I going to place it? But this is the hard part for me to start, is having this killer piece of content. So that's where I like to start with stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's crazy because so all of our stuff has, if Trello folds tomorrow, we're screwed, because all the amount of stuff that we rely on that for is crazy. And I've gone hard, just my own personal biz dev stuff is all just Trello project management and running it through there. And it's crazy. For me, it's really two things. One is just having that organization and having all of that huge 6 to 9 month plan that's up here down in front of me, which for as scrambled as things get up there sometimes, obviously that alone is huge. But the other thing for me is, like you're saying, just those little hits of dopamine that you get when you get to check something off, and, before, obviously when you sign a new client, that feels great. But now even for me, I kind of get that little hit when you just even talk to a prospect and qualify them. Like, do they have a shot, or, are they a little farther away from being a real prospect for us? Or, do they need a proposal? Like, do I need to do this for them and kind of mock up a roadmap, and then just for me, having those little just check marks along the way where, I can be overly hard on myself and overly hard on us sometimes when we spend, 2-3 weeks just investing so much in biz dev where, you don't see the return even close to right away. So to kind of have those along the way has helped me a ton. And now that stuff's starting to hit and, dollars are starting to show up, obviously it's easy to feel good then, but when you can kind of document and track your stuff up front, it's just psychologically, even just reminding myself to stop and take a breath and dude, you talked to 15 new clients this week. Okay, that's a dub. But and what I've seen in turn too is it's really helped me put more of that back into client Trello boards, like the stuff that we do with Infinite, where before we're kind of mapping that out to the best of our gut feeling and the best of our knowledge. Even just seeing some of the unlocks for me by using that more, I'm like, oh fuck, man, if we do that for clients, let's go. And we're super early in getting everybody shifted over to that. But I think that's going to be a huge win this year for sure.
And that's what's fun about it is, for me, having those new branding conversations. They're like, well, how do you do it? I literally just take a snapshot of this and I show them. And all of a sudden it's, well, wait a minute, you're everywhere. It's like, no, I'm not. I just know how to be efficient with taking something like this, chopping it up with 10-second clips and then just being everywhere. It's like, sure, I don't, this is going to be the first time, I think, if I do my diligence, I'm super close. I think this is going to be the first time I hit my 122 in 6 months.
That's dope.
So I'm just the amount of opportunity, but again, it boils down to why do we do this? And we do this because, number one, it's the right thing to do to build brand. I was just having this conversation yesterday with a friend of mine. She goes, how do you do it? And I always use your analogy. It's like, okay, yeah, you want to get in shape in 6 months? You want to be, wear a bikini this summer or whatever whatever it is that you're doing, you need to start now. So, and I said, you don't need to do 122 pieces of content. This is the conversation I'm having with Taven right now, is what can he do and what can he talk about on his page to start building brand to become the sneaker kid in Central New York.
Yeah.
And I always kind of throw him ideas, but I'm trying to lead him by showing, not lead him by telling. And that's the big difference. And that's been the last little push that I needed with my own personal brand, because now it's literally within my four walls. It's my kid showing him how to do it. So that's been cool.
Right. Well, and the other thing that has been really front and center for me a lot lately is just quite literally translating all the stuff that we talk about into real life verbiage, you know? Because we talk about it all the time with clients when we sit down. You know, we talk about, personal branding and reach and engagement and all that. And that's where life is at in 2020. But at the same time, there are so many people that are half-assing it or faking it till they make it out there, that just throw those buzzwords out there. So now when people hear them, flags immediately go up. Mm-hmm. So how I've been describing it to people, it's basically like one big behind the scenes feature on a DVD, if they're old enough to know what a DVD is, which because if you think about it like that, that's all this is.
Yep.
Right. Like, and if you look, anytime somebody gets to sit down when, we have people here, or even like the couple of shared client meetings we have, mm-hmm. you see their eyes light up when we talk about all of that kind of stuff, you know? And that's just really how I've kind of told with people, like if we have a new product launch coming up,
right?
Hey, show them the behind the scenes. That's how you launch instead of announce. So many people announce a new product, like, oh, we're launching this. Like, well, no, you're not. Right. It's like, if you were launching it, you would have started 110 days ago.
Right.
So just kind of having that, and like, even like those roadmaps, like we're talking about, or even this, like, even I'm just thinking about it now, even just the fact of how you and I are both framed, it's going to be super easy to cut that into an Instagram frame for stories that's that big.
Yep.
So it's going to be relevant there. And then you can put it on LinkedIn this way. And then it's just like, here we go.
That's it. And I'm learning things that I didn't know. I didn't realize that Instagram, IGTV has a limit on the minimum side for a video. I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that LinkedIn has a maximum video length. I didn't know that. It's 10 minutes. So for me, it's like, okay, if we do 20 minutes here on average, I'm going to have to cut this up into two different ones, part one, part two.
Yep.
I thought LinkedIn, like I thought like with Gary Vee and things like that, I thought he was posting like YouTube, like one of his like 2-hour keynotes. And I thought he was doing that. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's being the tactician that we always talk about doing, but then taking that 10 minute video and showing another client, a winery client, to say, all right, well, if you want to we're doing hour phone calls this way. We've done 2 of them now. It's been phenomenal. So now what they're doing is they have one of their content people cutting it up into 90-second clips, putting that into their LinkedIn chat and DMing people that they want to biz dev with.
Yep.
I mean, that's literally what it is.
Well, I mean, it's the more and more you do stuff like this, like when we're sitting out writing proposals, like, shit, I wish we had a picture of us doing this. Like, I've screenshotted my screen 4 times since we started.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to have that content there. And it's crazy how simple it is sometimes.
Right.
Even for me and you, we preach this stuff to other people. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, they pay us to do it. And sometimes I think, man, am I oversimplifying this?
Yep.
Like, the scary part is I'm not. It's that basic. Like, you get so deep into your own stuff that you don't realize how special or how valuable or how cool any of it is.
Right.
Until somebody else sees it and they're like, holy shit,
Or the worst is you go back and you say, I should have done this. That's the worst part for me, is I should have captured this.
Yep. Because
it's in the minute, it's in the moment, and it's once it's gone, it's gone. And I think for me, the biggest unlock for me has been, when you're working on your own stuff, and me, I'm a big fan of this. I hate this, but I've been doing it, and I think about you every time I do it.
I know. I appreciate the shout outs. It's awesome.
It's hard because you know what it is. It feels selfish. It feels selfish to work on your own stuff sometimes. And I keep having to give myself permission to do it, not at 9:30 at night Like doing one of these at 11 in the morning, that's okay. And that's a good use of your time because you're being a practitioner and showing and getting better with your own stuff. So you can then subsequently help your clients.
Yeah. I think so much of it is psychological too. Cause like, even though you're in it and you see it, you're like, people are going to look at me and think, who's this douchebag recording himself talking to his phone? But then you realize on the other end of it, it's like, that's the world we live in now.
Yep.
Like who says your life is so interesting? They do.
They do.
Here's the numbers, you know what I mean? And that's the really cool thing, when you realize just how data driven and how positive and negative feedback loop driven everything is.
Yep.
Like that's what I always tell people, and why we don't map our stuff out more than a week in advance. Because like they're gonna tell us. You know, we've been, doing this every single day for like 6 years now. That just dawned on me the other day. But like, and so we have a good idea of where we need to start and where we need to be. But to this day, there's stuff that we do that I'm like, that's kind of dumb, man. I don't know about that. Yep. But we try it. Because like, we're not always talking to a 31-year-old dude in upstate New York.
Yep.
And we'll put it out there and it'll go, whew. And then there's stuff that I think is awesome. That'll be, you know? And that's just the thing where it's just like we have never lived in a time where we have so much data driving everything. Mm-hmm. If you actually realize that and you actually put your ego and your feelings and your thoughts to the side for a second and you say, I'm just going to play to that and respond to that. That's how you win. Yep. Straight up.
So let me ask you a question. So I get a lot of questions, as I'm sure you do. I get a lot of Facebook Messenger questions. Can you help me? Can you coach me? Can you give me, and it's friends. It's like friends of my kids' parents that have a side hustle. And I won't mention them by name because I don't have their permission yet. But one of them owns like a high-end cosmetic business, like a men's and women's cosmetic business. The other one is like a 31 gift bags. Have you seen those things like Tupperware and reusable shopping bags, things like that? And they both asked me, they go, where would you start if you were me? So I'm going to pose the same question because I'm in it. I know these people personally. If you said, okay, if you had a men's line of cosmetic wear and your significant other was doing like a 31 gift bags thing, what would be the first piece of advice for both of those?
I would say watch what me and Ben are doing right now and do as much of that as humanly possible.
There you go.
And then just start putting stuff out there. Because I think the problem is when people start, they want to go straight to the buzz stuff or the sexy stuff. Like, should I be running Facebook ads? Should I be running Instagram ads? Should I be doing this?
Yeah.
It's like, the short answer is like, well, yeah, but like until you sit there and like write out this level of a plan for everything, where you know what Instagram ads you're running now to sell stuff in May.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not going to do you any good.
Right.
It's like if I want to get in shape, should I go to the gym tomorrow? Well, yeah, but what are you going to do? How many sets? How many reps? For how long? What do you do the day after that? And the day after that, And I think that's just one of those things where just sitting there and building out a library of content around what you do and putting it out there to see how people respond, that's never not going to be the right answer.
Right.
Because then as long as you have that and you start to see what works and what doesn't, then guess what? The stuff that works, okay, now let's start talking about, should I start playing with Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that? And then the other thing, like, you got to find your voice. You know what I mean? Like you and I do this professionally, and it's still fucking awkward to do it.
It is very,
and we literally do it for a living, both for ourselves and, especially in our case, like on behalf of other people.
Yep.
So like, it takes practice and it takes time to get good and to feel comfortable and to feel confident and then to see enough to do it regularly. So like, that's what I always tell people. I'm like, just start taking pictures and videos of everything.
Yep.
And put it out there to see how it responds. Because then the only other problem is that some people will take pictures for 3 months straight and it'll all be awful because they never put it out there to find out it was awful and realize they had to change something.
Right. It just sits in their phone.
Exactly. So that's what I always tell people, because we've been meeting with a lot of people that for whatever reason, they're super early, budget's not there, it's their off season, whatever, where we've sat down with them and they have a need to do all this, but we're just not a fit for them yet. And then that's what I tell them. I'm like, whether it's something we do down the road or somebody else or something you do internally, the more stuff that you have in the holster, the better position you're going to be 6, 9, 12 months from now.
That's exactly what I told both of them. I said, especially in the case of the woman that's selling the 31 gift bags, she has 2 sons. One's my son's age and one is just about ready to graduate high school. And they went, the older son is a huge high school wrestler. Like that is his thing. Like I guess he's like really good. Yep. And she posted a picture on her personal page about how they won like the league championship or whatever. And this is my advice, which I'm going to give to her after this, is put that on your 31 gift bag page. And most 99 people out of 100 would be like, well, that doesn't mean I'm going to sell bags.
Right.
It is people buy from people. The more they know about you, that you are into your kids' lives, you're into the community, you care that the Cazenovia High School wrestling team won the state title last night or whatever they did. And that's how people are going to do it. I always tell people this advice is, give me the story that I cannot find on your website or on the product's website.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care when your tasting room's open. I don't care what your wines are. I don't care any of that stuff. I can go to your Facebook page and on the about section, I can find all of that information.
Yep.
Show me why who has the best pizza in town after the wrestling tournament and why, that kind of thing. The woman that's selling the cosmetics, same kind of thing. Don't tell me the price points. Don't tell me the benefits of the product. Don't tell me where it comes from. Tell me about you and why I should buy it from you.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the greatest examples of that, and I used this the other day, because I said, especially for us, being a marketing agency who by definition is here to help people sell stuff.
Yep.
I always tell people, I'm like, the longer you could go without asking somebody to buy something, the more they're going to buy from you.
Absolutely.
It sounds ridiculous to 99% of business, and I understand that. But like, I use this as an example, and it's one of my favorite ones to tell. I'm like, 5 years ago, for my prior life in our prior business, we were expanding to Syracuse.
Yep.
And this dude who had a production vodka distillery that was never going to be a client or customer for this business took an hour-long meeting with me, and we sat there and we probably talked for like 90 minutes, right?
Probably.
And we get back and I'm talking to my business partners at the time, and they're like, who are you talking? I'm like, I only had like 3 meetings today, but I talked to this dude, he has his vodka distillery. He's like, well, do you have like that's awesome. Do you have like a bar and a tasting room? I'm like, nope. Like, well, like, does he is there like a restaurant or something? I'm like, nope. It's like, well, how is that going to help us then? I'm like, I don't know, but it feels right. And they're like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're only in Syracuse 1 day a week. Like, you can't be spending 2 hours driving to Cazenovia to talk to this dude.
Yep.
And then now it's my favorite thing, because you flash forward to now, and me and that dude with the vodka distillery are working on some pretty game-changing stuff.
Yep.
So now every time it comes up where it's like, how is that going to help us? I'm like, the same way fucking vodka did, bro.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, right? Like, how long did you and I work on stuff and talk about stuff before we actually did anything?
Long time.
Years.
Long,
right?
You know what it is? The way I say it is there's transactional business that you can fold up and put in your pocket. And then there's this brand. It's the Adam and Ben brand now, and that's part of what we do. And like we've said, I was just having this conversation yesterday. Like when I did my career pivot 2 years ago, after I left that and started to do this full time, I mean, it's like, I knew it was the right thing. So you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And then all of a sudden, like with all of the clients that you're bringing on right now, how many times did we try to schedule this together? I mean, what, 4, 5, 6 times? But
at least,
we knew it was beneficial for other people. That's why I want to cut that one clip and actually send it to those 2 people that I just talked about, because it's the right thing to, you just said it, it's the right thing to do. So when we start, and this is for you and I, this is the next step. I won't say first at all. I would say the next step in getting serious about building the brand together and helping other people. And then there's going to be one day where our phone is literally going to blow up. We're going to have 5 people coming to us and saying, you guys are the ones doing it the best here in town. I want to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so the brand that you build eventually turns into a lot of fold it up and put in your pocket.
Right. The problem is that people don't have that level of patience or vision or commitment to see it through times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, I'll tell people, I mean, we've been in meetings together
Yep.
where people are like, we really need this to work in 2 months. And I'm like, you really shouldn't hire us then.
No.
Because it's not going to happen.
No.
You know, and that's where it's such a fun time to be doing this.
Yep.
Because you're just starting to hit this inflection point where personal branding and like, yeah, my employees should spend 2 hours a day on their Instagram accounts talking to other people.
Yep.
Like that's actually starting to be like, oh, that's kind of okay. That's kind of good.
Yep.
Like 5 years ago, you got screamed at if you were on your social media accounts, you know?
Yeah.
So that, I think that's super fun to be able to kind of see that turning point where people are starting to be like, oh shit, this is what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
And then how the hell do we do that?
Yeah,
You know?
That's it. My new theory kind of going into this year is it's going to become more and more valuable for things that you and I do as people's attention. It's going to be an adverse thing. As people's attention span goes down, patience is going to have to go up because
you're not going to have any alternative.
You're not going to have any alternative. I watch my kids. They can't sit through a 5-second pre-roll YouTube ad. They cannot. They X out and they go to the next video that doesn't have the pre-roll ad. So as this generation comes up and as you and I continue to do the branding stuff that we're doing for ourselves and for clients, people are going to have to have even more patience. And that's going to be harder and harder and harder to do.
It's going to be harder to translate too. So we actually, like, I know that I've talked to you about it. We just rewrote our entire proposal structure for that very reason. Because and it's cool now because like enough of it, one of our biggest problems is that we do nothing but watch that kind of stuff and then adapt to it. And then sometimes when you're so early to that, everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? But like, I remember like there's a client who's coming in next week that I'm like, hey, we got to change our Instagram setup, man. Cause like we're literally marketing to like kids between 14 and 19.
Yep.
I'm like, we have to be 90% Instagram stories or else we're not going to hit them. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, go to any teenager's Instagram that follows us. They're not even posting anymore.
Nope.
Their last post is from 10 months ago.
Yep. Everything
is stories now. And then if your strategy doesn't reflect that, you're literally just throwing money out the window.
Yep.
It's crazy, you know, but like, that's not changing.
No.
They're not going to go back to watching network television and sit there through 2.5 minutes of commercials like I did.
Yep.
Stuff's different now.
Yep.
So like, you're 100% right. Like, and as people, like I shared a thing on Instagram like 3 or 4 months ago, is like the number of CEOs that have been fired or resigned in 2019 and the companies that they were with. And I remember I shared it and I'm like, if you don't think that the business world is changing and that leaders don't know how to deal with it, here's proof.
Right.
Nike, Under Armour, and I'm just like they're not just getting tired of making that CEO salary. Like, okay, like trust me, like if they were ready to tackle this, they would.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing. All right, we have 3-4 minutes left. So in that time, let's do this. Why don't you give me your best piece of advice on to how to improve my personal content and Taven's Fuego content, and then I'll reciprocate.
I think the one single biggest unlock for you would be just slightly varying and tweaking content to fit platform.
Got it.
Because I think you're great at content, but after a while, if you realize that your Instagram post is just like that tweet,
yep,
you would kind of eventually start thinking, oh, I saw that 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Well, kind of like we talked about earlier, or even like this, same exact video, but one's framed like that for Instagram, one's framed like this for Facebook, LinkedIn. Game changing. Like we've just been messing with that hard for our clients just on Instagram and Facebook, which from a posting standpoint, by all accounts, are probably two of the most similar,
Right.
you know, high quality visual caption. But just from going from let's do that, but let's use still photos on Facebook and let's use boomerangs on Instagram,
Yeah.
engagement's up no less than 30% across the board.
Love it.
Just ticky-tack stuff, you know what I mean? You're writing captions on Instagram that 19-year-old girls would make, where clients used to text me like, that's not a complete sentence, can you fix that? And you have to be like, no. But yeah, that would be the one biggest.
I love it. Love it. I think on your side, just volume.
Yep.
Volume.
100%.
Just more of, because the stuff that you do is super interesting. I just want to see more of it.
Yep. That's literally, I have do more written. I don't have the paper in front of me. In Sharpie on my nice egg bill that I have to pay today. That's how I knew I would see it. Yeah, that's February 1. Depending on how Sunday goes, maybe like February 6th. But that is front and center of what we're doing.
Good.
Right
Good.
now.
All right, so let's do this. Let's squeeze this in. If we can do this weekly, this would be insane.
You know what I think we have to do? I think we have to pick a day and a time. Like if it's Friday at noon, it's Friday at noon.
Yeah.
I think we have to do it and put it recurring on the calendar. Because like as the last 4 months have shown us, if we try to figure it out with your schedule and my schedule, like I'll talk to you in fucking June, you know?
And that's going to be the problem, is because we need to take our own medicine and say,
Yep.
if it's going to be native on the different platforms, that's why this is going to be so valuable, is because we're going to be able to do this long form on YouTube. You can do, 2 segments on LinkedIn. How many stories can come out of this between you? 100. So that's going to be it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video. I'm currently recording it on my Mac, which I'm actually low on storage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a separate external hard drive, which is going to save onto the external. Then I'm going to go up to my editing PC, because I have Adobe on my editing PC. And then that's where I'm going to start dragging and dropping into clips. So I think for me, having that strategy of being able to do it that way. But like I said, just doing this, sitting down, is the hard part for me. So I think right now it should be, if Friday at noon is good for you, because I know you do a lot of biz dev on Friday, then let's make Friday at noon.
I'm in. We just declared it. It's out there. We can't back off of it now.
See?
Done.
Hold each other accountable. That was one of the other reasons we wanted to do this.
100%. I am in.
There you go. All right, we're up against it. We were gonna end at 12:30. We're gonna end at 12:30. So go Niners. How about that?
Let's hope so.
Be good, my friend.
Yes, sir.